We don't do birthday cakes in my house. Seems wrong on a reaping day. And Ma thinks it's unfair for her and Sid to have a cake if I don't. Instead, she makes something nice for breakfast, like the cornbread and sauce, and saves all of her cake energy for New Year's Day. She starts setting things aside months in advance. The dried apples, the sorghum syrup, the white flour. The spices, ginger and cinnamon and whatnot, are so costly she buys them in little twists of paper from the March's apothecary. A couple days before New Year's, she makes the apple filling and bakes the 6 layers of cake and alternates them. Cake, filling, until it's one big beautiful stack. She wraps it all up in a towel so it can rest, and the sweet apple filling soaks into the cake. Then on New Year's Day at summertime, she pours everyone a big glass of buttermilk, and we all eat the stacked cake that we can hold. So the cake in front of me, with its fancy frosted flowers, is all wrong. The candles smack of the capital, and the song Tibby leads the peacekeepers in, while Common in 12 is never sung in my house because it would be unsuitable as a birthday cake. Happy birthday to someone special, and we wish you many more. Once a year we give you a cheer to you. Hey, Mitch. Happy birthday. I wonder how that goes. The cameraman from Plutarch's crew sneaking his lens over Tibby's shoulder to film my reaction is the cherry on the birthday cake fiasco. Clearly Plutarch wants to capture my delight so he can broadcast it all over Panem. Look at how well the capital treats the tributes, how forgiving they are to their enemies, how superior they are to the district piglets in their stinkholes. I've seen similar clips of the tributes being treated like pampered pets, being brushed and fed and flattered, lapping it up, playing into the capital propaganda. Maybe it gets them more sponsors, but if they do win, it's not going to get them a parade back home. Don't let them use you, Sashi. Don't let them paint their posters with your blood. Not if you can help it. That's it. That's what Pa told Sashi at the Justice Building. That's what Ma wanted me to remember. Even though, maybe especially because, she had just let Plutarch use her and Sid like puppets. She had failed, but wanted me to be strong. Plutarch had my family over a barrel when we were desperate for one last embrace. But now he's got nothing I want. I rise as I weigh my options. I could knock the cake to the ground, hawk and spit on it, or just shove it into Tibby's stupid face. Instead, I go all Maisley Donna, turning my back and walking over to look out the window. In the reflection, I see Tibby deflate. It has pineapple filling, he offers. I give my head a slight shake. A miscalculation on my part, Plutarch says. Take it out, Tibby. I'm sorry, Hamish. An apology from a capital guy? Then I see it for what it is. Another way to manipulate me by pretending I'm a human being, worthy of an apology. I don't even acknowledge it. It makes me feel pretty bad though, that cake. The last thing I needed was a big capital reminder that this would be my final birthday. The same goes for all of us, and while we're not all allies, I appreciate that no one shouted out, well, hold on, I'll take a piece. After my cake, the capital well-wishers have withdrawn. Plutarch continues. Back to business. Along with your mentors, District 12 will be assigned its very own stylist. And not a moment too soon, Drusilla stalks, and give Luella's gingham dress an appraising look. Honestly, where do you people find these things? My ma made it, said Luella evenly. Where did you find yours? Luella's holding her own, but Maisley lands the insult. I was wondering the same. It's like someone mated a peacekeeper and a canary, and there you are. What? Says Drusilla. She rises from her chair, but wobbles a bit before she finds her balance on her spiked heels. Careful, says Maisley. She drips sugar as she goes for the jugular. Might be time to rethink those boots. Wouldn't something closer to the ground be safer for a person your age? Drusilla hauls off and slaps Maisley, who without missing a beat slaps her right back. A real wallop. Drusilla knocks off her boots and into the chair I recently vacated. Everyone freezes, and I wonder if we're about to get executed on the spot. Don't you ever touch me again, says Maisley. The colour's gone from her face, except for the print of Drusilla's hand. You've got to hand it to Maisley. Nobody's using footage of her for propaganda. Why don't we all take a deep breath, Plutarch suggests. It's been a tough day. Everybody's emotions are running high, and Drusilla flies up and rips the riding crop from its boot clip and begins beating Maisley, who cries out and raises her arm to protect her head, but the blows keep raining down, forcing her to the floor. Drusilla, stop, Drusilla, we have to put cameras on her tomorrow, Plutarch warns. He has to summon 2 peacekeepers from the hallway to pull her off. Nasty, disgusting creature, Drusilla pants. I will destroy you before you even make it to the arena. The welts have already risen on Mosley's arm and neck, but she ignores them. I doubt she's ever been hit before, let alone whipped. I haven't much either. More used to cuff me on the head, but it was more to get my attention than to hurt me. Mosley slowly pushes herself up from the floor, using the wall for support, before she responds. Really? How? You're not even a game maker. You're not even a stylist. You're nothing but a low-rent escort hanging on by your fingernails to the trashiest district in Pan Am. That hits a nerve. Fear flickers across Drusilla's face before she recovers. And you're headed for a bloody and agonising death. Mosley gives a bitter laugh. That's right. I am. So why should I care what you say? Unless I win, of course. But even then, who do you think will be more popular? The victor of the Quarter Quell or you? Drusilla's expressions twist into a leer. I hope you do win. You have no idea what's in store for you then. You know nothing. She limps to the door. I know my grandmother had a jacket like yours, but we wouldn't let her wear it out the house, says Mosley. Drusilla tenses, but tries to make a dignified exit. There's a long pause, then Plutarch says, You may find Drusilla ridiculous, but be smart. You four don't have your own district mentor. Your stylist job begins and ends with your appearance. It might not be fair, but Drusilla may be the best advocate you have in the capital. Think about it before you burn that bridge entirely. He leaves, quietly closing the door behind him. You okay? I asked Mosley. Sorry. Never better. She gingerly touches the welts, bringing tears to her eyes. I can't help feeling sorry for her, and a little impressed by how she stood up to Drusilla. Even though she's rich, she's not trying to cozy up to the capital people. We're all equally beneath her. There I was, trying to be so high and mighty about the cake, and then you go all wildcat on us. Mosley gives a small smile. Well, I have strong opinions on fashion. I guess you do, says Luella. It's high time someone told Miss Matchy she looks hideous, says Mosley. But you look fine, Luella. Your mother did a nice job trimming your dress. The girls eye each other. I can feel a slight thaw, but all Luella says is, I think so too. A peacekeeper beckons us from the door, and we follow her back through the train to a compartment with 2 sets of bunk beds built into the walls. The door leads to a small bathroom with a toilet and sink. Toothbrushes and towels in the bathroom, and you each get your own bed. She waits as if we're supposed to be grateful, but the only person who responds is Mosley. It smells like cooked cabbage in here. In the old days, we used to put you in the cattle cars, the peacekeeper replies, then looks us in. On the pillows are pyjamas, which we sort out based on our sizes. We take turns in the bathroom and retreat to our... And then retreat to our bunks. Shades automatically slide down over the windows, and the bulbs above the door dim, leaving us in twilight. Wyatt falls asleep almost immediately, judging by his snores, and Luella follows suit. Mosley sits on the top bunk across from me, holding a wet wash rag to her welts. I lie on my back, staring at the ceiling, trying to make sense of the day. My fingers wrap around the flint striker hanging from my neck. The picture of Lenore Dove, drenched and wailing in the storm, overtakes me, and my heart starts to splinter again. I squeeze my eyes shut and reach for her across the miles, knowing that she is reaching for me too. I hear her voice singing a piece of her poem, her name song. Deep into the darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, Lenore. Love a bit of iambic pentameter. I know every word of the song, since I learned it for Lenore Dove's birthday last December. It wasn't that hard, it being what she calls an earworm, meaning it sticks in your head, whether you want it to or not. It's true, the thing's addictive, rhyming and repeating in a way that dares you to stop, all while telling you a haunting story. I sang it to her in an old house by the lake in front of a fire. We were toasting stale marshmallows and would skip school, which we both caught hell for later. She said it was her favourite gift ever. This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word Lenore. What is that? I tried to ignore Mosley. Merely this and nothing more. That thing around your neck. The connection is broken. Lenore Dove is gone. I look over and find Maisie staring at me, her eyes wide in the dark. Birthday present. From my girl. Can I see it? I collect jewellery. You don't hear that much in District 12. But Mr. Donner spoils his girls rotten. Lenore Dove told me that on their 13th birthday, he gave them both pure gold pins that had belonged to his mother. They'd been fashioned by Anne Tamber over 30 years ago. I never saw them. So unless Anne Tamber, it doesn't matter. Anne Tamber must be in his 40s then. I need to go back and read Songbirds and Snakes. I never saw them, but Merrilee's featured a hummingbird and Maisley's a mockingjay, birds being one of the Covey's great loves. Apparently, Merrilee wore hers all of 5 minutes before she lost it down a well. Maisie threw a fit over hers, saying a mockingjay was an ugly old thing, and Margaret and Tam Amber melted down to make her something pretty, like a butterfly. When he declined, she stuffed the pin in the back of a drawer and never wore it once. The Nor Dove saw red when she heard about the twins, feeling they never appreciated nor deserved Tam Amber's craftsmanship, and for a time they spoke about breaking into the Donners and stealing that mockingjay pin back. Burdock and I talked her out of it. What with 2 recent arrests, it seemed unwise, but it still eats at her. I know she would not want Maisie's manicured paws on my necklace. It's kind of personal, I say. I mean, I'm not planning on taking it off there, though. It's not really jewellery anyway. She nods but doesn't pursue it, just hangs a wash rag over the bed rail and gets under the covers, and rolls to face the wall. I'm chilly in the refrigerated tray in air, so I pull up the capital blanket, which is stiff and has a chemical odour. Nothing like my soft patchwork quilt that Ma dries in the sunshine on Sundays, when the mind's quiet and the soot's minimal, so it smells like fresh air. Ma, Sid. I don't expect to sleep, but the day's been so draining that the moment the train lulls me into a semi-conscious state. A few hours later, I wake with a start and feel someone shaking my leg. Hey, hey. Luella whispers over Wyatt snores. I prop myself up on my elbow and squint at her through the dim light. What's going on? I don't want Wyatt. I don't want him for an ally, okay? Wyatt? Okay, but can I know why? He looks pretty strong and she breaks in. He's a booker boy. At least, his pa is. The booker boys are miners who cater to those who like to gamble in 12. They take bets on any number of going-ons, dogfights, mayor appointments, boxing matches, and organise gambling events. On Sunday nights you can usually find them in an old garage behind the hob, running dice and card games for a cut. If things get tense with the peacekeepers, like the time someone set fire to a jeep, then they lay low, popping up in the back alleys and condemned houses. Personally, I never gamble. If Ma heard that I've been spending money on cards, she'd kill me, and beyond that, I just don't get the thrill of it. Life in general seems risky enough to me, but people want to throw away their money, it's not my business. Well, I make white liquor, so I'm not one to point fingers, I tell Luella. We're both operating outside the law, and doesn't Kaysen like his dice? Kaysen's her older brother, and when he's not in the mines, he's chasing some kind of pleasure. Luella gives her head an impatient shake. Not just dice. I mean us. Then I get it. Every time around this year, a couple of booker boys will take bet on the Hunger Games tributes. Like how old would the kids be? Seymour Town, the number of tesserae they carry. The betting continues through the games with odds on deaths and districts and the ultimate victor. It should be illegal, but the peacekeepers don't care. It's modelled on their own system of betting in the capital. Most of the booker boys shun this, it being too black-hearted, but a few make a nice profit. Those are sick and twisted people, and not the kind you can trust in the Hunger Games. You sure, Luella? I ask. Near as a candy. I didn't put it together until I saw Wyatt messing with that coin. She said, Kaysen told me all of the gamblers learn that stuff, to signal to people there's a game on when they can't say so out loud. He seemed to know all about stacking the deck. And one time someone brought up Mr. Callow and Kaysen's spit and said he didn't have no truck with people who made money on dead kids. Well, Wyatt being reaped is the final word in irony. I think of the Callows frantically trying to reach him on the square, never getting to say goodbye. Hard to feel much pity for them now. Do you think he took bets on her reaping with his pa? That'd be my guess, she says. Mine too. Booker boys keep their business in the family, and I don't want Wyatt either, Luella. It's just you and me. Try and get some more sleep, okay? I don't know. Around dawn, the shades retract, and I stare out into the unfamiliar mountains, adding insult to injury. What's happening in my mountains? Is Hattie brewing another batch of forgetfulness? Is Ma scrubbing away her grief on the washboard, while Sid fills the cistern under a cloudless sky? Are the geese standing guard over Lenore Dove's heart? As much pain as my loved ones feel now, how long will it be until I'm just a memory? Plutarch sticks his head in to announce breakfast in a cheerful voice that suggests yesterday never happened. We dress and go back into the sitting room car for eggs and bacon sandwiches, and more lemonade. Maisley asks for coffee, a rich person drinking 12, and Tibby brings us each a cup. I don't care for the bitter stuff. The train climbs, and suddenly we're in a pitch-black tunnel, and Plutarch says it won't be long now, but it seems like an eternity. When we finally pull into the station, the sunlight streaming through the glass panels dazzles my eyes before I make out another train across the platform. I recognise Juvenia, the District 1 escort who Drusilla sneered at, tentatively descending the train steps in snakeskin boots. Behind her come 4 tributes, cuffed and chained together, towering over their peacekeepers. When the car door shuts behind them, the boy bringing up the rear suddenly turns and kicks the window. The glass shatters like an eggshell. A quiet voice behind me says, Panache Barker, District 1 tribute, trained career, roughly £300. His last name suggests he's related to Palladium Barker, who took the crown 4 years ago. He'll currently have odds of about 5-2, which in the arena could translate into an average of 2 meals a day from sponsors. He looks to be a lefty, which can be a plus or a minus, but he's also a hothead, and that could cost him. Based on the reaping stats, training, weight, lineage, he's a current crowd favourite, whereas we're strictly long shot material. We all stare at Wyatt, who keeps his eyes on the competition as he muses. You might not want me, but it's a sure bet you need me.